since Bruce has taken over, there's been an incredible turnaround in the performance of the penalty kill. Is there something in particular that you can put your finger on as being an improvement, or has it just been an overall execution story?
I think it's a combination of execution and, guys, being a little more desperate, obviously, to sell out and block shots and kind of get the job done. Saying that, obviously, the old story is your penalty killer has to be your goalie, and our goalies have been obviously awesome for us on the kill. But, we tweaked some things, obviously, system-wise with Scott Walker coming in just a little more aggressive and obviously particular up ice. And more guys are getting involved on the penalty kill too, especially up front and obviously in the back end too. You're kind of using more of our range of guys and, guys a little fresher, taking shorter shifts and just, everyone kind of working with one another. So it's good. And, we've obviously got some really, really tough, power play or opposition power plays coming up. Obviously some of the best in the league, some of the best, most talented players in the league coming up here. So we got to work it out for us and we're going to have to continue to get better.
Now, unfortunately, you don't play on the power play as well. But, when you're on the bench as a penalty killer watching your power play work, do you find yourself ever like thinking about what they're doing, even critiquing, as a guy who has to try to stop power plays so often?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you're always kind of watching, different power play units. And obviously I get the best seat in the house watching ours go to work and kind of seeing what they're up to. But there's no question. I mean, obviously a good power play starts with probably establishing a shot, whether it's from the point or from the flanks, or sometimes, jamming a low play, and then the kind of things start to open up from there. Those seam passes open up or passes up top. And, obviously you gotta outwork the penalty kill. You got 5 guys to outwork their 4. And if guys are working hard and doing the right things, you typically come up with pucks and kind of create second and third opportunities. But in my opinion, a good power play starts with creating those shots off the start and kind of working from there.
We'll move along to Ian McIntyre, Sportsnet.
Hey, Luke, I know you can't get through an avail without at least one question about Quinn Hughes. Bruce mentioned yesterday that he actually worked with Quinn's dad back in Manchester a long time ago. And you did some work, obviously, when Jim Hughes was part of the Leafs organization. Was he a coach who emphasized a two-way game in the complete defensive zone, offensive zone package?
Well, he must. I mean, obviously, you see his 3 sons in the league right now, and they're obviously, obviously really, really talented players, but they compete on, all sides of the puck. So, obviously Jimmy's been in the game for a long time. I never worked with him directly one-on-one a ton. I think he was more player development when I was there and working with younger prospects when I was actually, sort of already on the team. So it was more one of those roles, but obviously he was around lots and had the chance to talk to him. And I remember him bringing, his kids, obviously, now we know who they are now, but bringing them around the room and you've seen them after the ice in practice sometimes, just, Jimmy having them out and working with them and them kind of skating with the older guys at times. It's a pretty cool thing. But obviously, if you didn't know the Hughes family, before, you sure know them now.
And what do you think of Quinn's defensive game? He's talked a lot this year about how much pride he's trying to take in proving that he's not just this one-dimensional offensive player.
I mean, yeah, he's obviously, I didn't see a ton of the games last year or play against Vancouver at all last year, so I can't really speak on that behalf, but there's no question this year he's been great defensively. Obviously, everyone knows how gifted and how good he is with the puck and, how he can skate out of trouble and get up the ice and run a power play and get shots and all. Everyone knows, his strengths, but not a lot of credit goes to his defensive abilities. And like you said, he's taken a lot of pride in that. It's to be a complete defenseman in the league and an all-around player, you got to play all sides of the puck. And I think he's only getting better. And, like you said, it's whether it's being strong in front of the net or coming up with 50-50 pucks in the corner and winning those battles or better defending off the rush. It's kind of all those things are starting to come together. And give him credit. I mean, he's working at it every day in practice too. It just doesn't, all of a sudden happen and you it just happens in games. You got to work at it. And obviously that's something he's paying attention to, and it's details of the game where he's getting a lot better. And, obviously he wasn't, he was on the map before, but even more so now with his all around play.
Next is Daniel Wagner, Glacier Media.
Hey, Luke, JT Miller is a guy who basically never wants to talk about himself. He doesn't like to talk up himself. I'm just wondering if you can speak to what he means to this group. He's leading the team in scoring and is obviously a pretty big voice in the room as well.
Yeah, I mean, he's got as big of a role on this team as, you know, any star player in the league has got on their team. I mean, he plays huge minutes for us every night. Runs a power play, or, you know, creates a ton off offensively, and, you know, he's a rock defensively too. You kind of, like you said, you can play him in matchup situations. You know, you play him in overtime, or like you said, he's out there typically, you know, first or second on the kill, and, you know, like you said, first power play unit. He's kind of doing it all right now, and on top of that too, he's strong and he's a good skater too. He's hard to knock off the puck and protects the puck really well too, which is, you know, I know the game, people talk a lot about speed these days and kind of creating off the rush, but which he can do. I mean, we've seen some goals like that he's done this year, but the big thing is you know, how strong he is, you know, on the puck down low, whether it's in both ends, but in particular in the offensive zone, and kind of getting his head up and moving his feet and making plays and finding open guys. So, you know, he's one of those guys too, like you said, until you play with him, you kind of get to appreciate how good he is. And actually, that's one of the first things when I came here this year, even before training camp, skating with the guys, is I remember calling my brother and, you know, saying, well, this Miller, actually, he's way better than I kind of expected. And that's one of the guys that opened my eyes right from the first day I was here. And obviously, he's been unbelievable for us all year.
And just with having a new coach in Bruce Boudreau, and you've had this kind of stretch where there's fewer games and more practices, and this stretch here where you have a week between games, has there been a little bit more of a training camp feel where there's maybe a few more little details being worked on?
Yeah, I mean, obviously this isn't the way you drop, you know, middle of the season when, you know, you kind of come out of a Christmas break and you got another, well, we'll see what kind of break we got coming up, I guess, with whatever, how the schedule shakes up. But yeah, you don't anticipate sort of lengthy pauses like this in the season. And, you know, if you look at it in a way where, you know, it's a negative, then it will be. And you look at it like, oh, we just got to practice again and kind of get by under the next game. But if you use it in the right way and work on some details, and whether it's systems or competing, or, you know, the first couple of days we're working hard in kind of conditioning side of things. So it can be a positive, and, you know, hopefully we channel that the right way heading into the next game here and beyond.
We have a couple more questions lined up at the moment. We'll go first to Rob Williams, Daily Hive.
Luke, you're averaging more minutes per game right now than you have in about 5 seasons. Just wondering how much you're relishing the chance to play a big role on this team right now.
I'm enjoying it. Obviously, like you said, I mean, you know, any player kind of wants to, you know, make the most of their opportunity and their ice time. And, you know, the past few years, obviously it's played a little bit more of a depth role, I guess, in the lineup, and especially in Tampa. I mean, the last couple of years, you know, I'd argue it's probably the best decor in the league, and a lot of unbelievable players there. And whoever you play with, you know, on the left side in particular, with Hedman, Sergachev, and McDonough, you're lucky to play with those guys, and you take the minutes that you can in order to win a championship. But obviously, like you said, a little more opportunity here, and something kind of that you're working towards. I mean, I guess I'm a little bit older, but still feel like there is room to improve and working on things. And you know, just game at a time here right now, trying to help the team however I can win hockey games. And obviously, right now, playing with Huggy has been a great opportunity for me as well. So you know, just trying to, like I said, help out and continue to work hard and try to improve and help us win games.
It's been over 3 weeks since you guys have played a home game. How much are you guys itching to play in front of your home fans again?
Yeah, we can't wait. Obviously, I mean, it's been tough, I feel like, on everyone, probably in the city and in the province, as far as what's gone on here the last, like you said, few weeks, or shutdowns and restrictions and all that sort of thing. So I mean, it's going to be awesome to get in front of some fans again, and you know, just kind of having what feels like, you know, kind of getting the community back a little bit together as far as, you know, a hockey game, but you get, you know, people in the arena kind of you know, just probably taking their mind off some other things that are going on. So I mean, everyone's going to be excited. Obviously, we wish we had a full building, and hopefully we do get back that sooner than later. But at the same time, I mean, we'll take what we can get right now, and can't wait to play in front of our fans, and in particular on home ice. And like you said, kind of continue to build off, you know, what's been going on here before Christmas.
And our last question for Luke Schenn will come from Rob Simpson, Vancouver Hockey Now.
Hey, thank you, Marcus. Luke, as Rob just mentioned, your minutes have gone up. I think you were 14 minutes or so through the end of November, and now you're up to 20, kind of in that ballpark. Can you kind of be specific? I mean, it must be gratifying to be, because you have been so effective. Just talk about the balance with Quinn. You've talked a lot about Quinn's game, but more specifically, what you're bringing to the table and why you've been effective.
I think, my game is simple. I think it's just try to, win battles in the corners and take care of the D zone and be strong in front of the net and try to let the goalie see the puck. And when there's an opportunity to make a play, it's really nothing more for me than, making a 5 to 10 foot pass and just try to get it, whether it's in Quinn's hands or in the forward's hands, and just kind of advance the puck. It's simple game for me out there. And obviously, a lot of the stuff that, is kind of some of the smaller details of the game, I would say. But no, just keeping things simple out there and try to be steady and move the puck. And that's really all there is to it. I mean, try not to overcomplicate things. And, like I said, puck moving defense, and sometimes guys, there's a lot of credit for guys jumping up in the play and joining the rush and times like that. But sometimes a puck moving defenseman is just getting it, moving to your partner, or moving it 5 to 10 feet to the forwards and getting under your zone that way. So try to keep things as simple as you can, and at the same time defend hard and use everyone on the ice.
This is kind of more of a psychological question, but can you describe how much winning the Cups meant confidence wise? Like, I don't say like the cock of the walk type thing, but guys that win and have accomplished that, that's something you always carry with you. Are you a different guy since that happened?
I don't know about different guy. I mean, as far as like, yeah, on the ice and hockey, I mean, your experience changes, right? So, I mean, you're in different situations where you're in bigger moments, bigger games, bigger situations where you need to make that play, or you need to kind of block that shot at the end of the game, or, you're down in the series or tied or whatever. And you kind of need to really not put pressure on yourself, but you really need to, have a good game to help the team in order to win. And I think just situations like that, you go back and you rely on past experiences. And at the end of the day, when maybe sometimes you don't have a ton of playoff success, or you don't win a championship, I guess you obviously don't have those experiences to fall back on, and you're striving and you're looking for those. And when you have those experiences, and you see other guys around you go through the same thing, and kind of what it takes to collectively all pull the same way together and win, you have a better understanding of what it takes, and you enjoy the process. You don't exactly think about winning at the end of the day. You enjoy the day-to-day grind and what it takes to come together and achieve that. So I think there's a lot of different things that go into it. And to answer your question, I guess more directly, I don't think like changing as a guy, but I think your experiences change overall, and you have a greater understanding and a better appreciation of how hard it is and what it takes.